The City Council meeting for the City of Vandalia is now called to order on February the 6th, 2017. The first item on our agenda is a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Will you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council members, you have had the opportunity to review the council study session minutes of January the 17th and also the council meeting minutes of January the 17th. Are there any corrections or revisions to be made? Seeing none, they'll stand to be approved. We have no communications, petitions, or awards, nor do we have any public hearings, and that brings us to comments from interested citizens. So if there's anyone in the audience who would like to make comments to us, would you please come to the podium, state your name and address for our records, and then your statement. Holly.
Hi, Holly Wiggins, 660 Castle Creek. Just wanted to let everybody know that we have open a new portal for customers that will give you a little bit more information about your accounts. And those of you who own businesses, you can put all your separate accounts in one place that you can view usage and bills, and you get alerts sent to you, so it's much easier to use than what you're doing right now for electronic payments. So you can go to mydpl.com, and if you sign up this week, you have a chance to win UD tickets. Yay. So I just want to let everybody know that it's a really nice feature and something I think that'll help you manage your electric bills.
How many UD tickets?
You know what? I don't know that answer.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I do not have that.
Okay, thank you. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. The city manager's report. There are no information items this evening. However, there are some action items. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. And the first item, it's appointments to the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission and also the MVRPC's Technical Committee. Vandalia is required to annually appoint a representative and an alternate representative to MVRPC, and also the Transportation Coordinator, the Transportation Coordinating Committee. And also an individual must be designated to serve as the TC member, which is their technical committee.
Do we do this all at one time, right?
You can.
All in one motion?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm just going to say it. I know that in the past I have served as the representative to the MVRPC. Rob Cron has been the TAC.
Technical committee, yes.
And Greg Shackelford is the alternate. And we have all agreed that we will continue that if it's agreeable with council. So the motion would be for those three people to continue in their positions.
So moved.
I can't make a motion.
Second.
You made the motion?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis, second by Councilwoman Farce, that we continue with those who have been representing the MVA. Same representatives. Thank you. Are there any questions about that? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhardt?
Yes.
Councilmember Farce?
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes.
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Appointments of representatives to the first suburbs. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Council is also required to annually appoint two representatives and an alternate representative to the First Suburbs Consortium.
And once again, the three of us who have served this past year have agreed to serve again. And those people are Mayor Setzer, Councilman Herbst, and Vice Mayor Lewis as the alternate.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis and second by Councilman Herbst that we continue with those who have served in the past. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Gerhardt,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries. Just to let everybody know that these positions need to be filled each year. However, it's more or less a continuation, and many others serve on other committees and so forth. So this is not something that was just kind of like planned. Well, it was planned because we just said, yes, we'll do it again. So anyway, just wanted to make sure that people understood that we were willing to do those. Resolutions. Resolution 17-R-13. Mr. McDonald, by title only.
17R13, a resolution waiving the formal bidding process and awarding the fireworks display contract for the 2017 and 2018 Star Spangled Celebration to Rozzie's Famous Fireworks Company in the amount of $27,000 for each year.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Since 1992, the city has contracted with Rozzie's Famous Fireworks for the Star Spangled Celebration and fireworks display. Rozzie's has proposed a 2-year contract for 2017 and 2018 at $27,000 annually, which is the same rate as we've paid the previous 2 years. I did talk to representatives from Butler Township to secure their partnership, and they are on board at this point for 2017. They've got trustee elections coming up in the fall, so we'll have to get back with them early next year regarding their support for 2018. Also, staff is in the process of lining up our regular sponsors for this event. The net cost for this celebration over the past 5 years has ranged from around $11,300 to $13,300 for our share of the event.
Thank you very much. And when you say our share of the event, that means the other activities that we sponsor?
Correct. It includes, our overtime cost, includes the entertainment that we have out there, as well as the fireworks display itself.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion. We approve Resolution 17-R-13.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Gerhardt, second by Councilwoman Farce, that we do approve Resolution 17-R-13. Any other comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhardt,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Resolution 17-R-14. Mr. McDonald.
17R14, a resolution authorizing the City of Vandalia to enter into a 5-year lease agreement with Pitney Bowes in the amount of the state bid price of $23,764.20, or $4,752.84 per year.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. The city's current postage meter lease expires at the end of March. The Finance Department did review the State of Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Plan vendors and identified Pitney Bowes as the vendor that best meets our desired specifications. The proposed 60-month lease is about $396 per month. This is an increase of about $733 annually due to inflation and also the electronic return receipt feature for certified mail that's now mandated by House Bill 5.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 17-R-14 as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilwoman Farce, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do approve Resolution 17-R-14 as read. Any comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Herbst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhardt,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Resolution 17-R-15. Mr. McDonald.
17R15, a resolution waiving the formal bidding process and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Pace Analytical Services, Inc. to provide EPA-mandated sampling and testing of sanitary sewer discharge from various industries and bacteria testing of drinking water in the city of Vandalia for calendar year 2017.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So the city has utilized Pace Analytical Services of Inglewood for several years for lab testing services, as does NAWA. Again, we're able to drop off samples at the NAWA facility where they're picked up by Pace, thereby saving the city a service charge. When we reviewed nearby laboratory facilities to get competitive quotes, the closest labs are located in either Dublin or Lima. Utilizing one of these facilities would require additional man hours for delivery or additional service charges for pickup. Furthermore, when testing is needed and is an emergency, such as for a water main break, again, these labs would not be as convenient as Pace labs.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Your Honor, I move that we approve Resolution 17R 15 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis, second by Councilman Ayers, that we do approve Resolution 17-R-15 as presented. Any comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Ayers,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard,
Yes.
Councilmember Farce,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Resolution 17-R-16, Mr. McDonald.
17R16, a resolution waiving the formal bidding process and authorizing the purchase of a KIP 7170 model large format copier scanner requested by the Development and Engineering Services Department from Perry Pro Tech in the amount of $13,925 and declaring the current copier scanner surplus property.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So $16,500 is budgeted for the replacement of DES's 2008 model large format copier scanner. We did receive 3 quotes for a comparable unit that would also work with DES's scanning and document imaging software. The most favorable quote was received from Perry Protech for a Konica Minolta KIP 7170 wide format copier scanner. And the cost is $13,925 plus an annual maintenance fee through the State of Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Plan.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 17R16.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Ayers, second by Councilman Herbst, that we do approve Resolution 17-R-16. Comments? Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard,
Yes.
Councilmember Farce,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Resolution 17-R-17, Mr. McDonald.
17R17, a resolution awarding the bid for one crime prevention vehicle requested by the Division of Police to Bo Townsend Ford in the amount of $27,200 as the lowest and best bid, and declaring the existing 201 Ford Windstar van being replaced surplus property.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So $34,000 is budgeted for the replacement of the Police Department's 2001 Ford Windstar crime prevention vehicle. Bid specifications were hand-delivered to 5 local dealers. It was also advertised in the Vandalia Drummer and posted on the city's website. Bo Townsend Ford submitted the loan bid, and they gave us 3 vehicle options. The police department reviewed and evaluated the features of all 3 vehicles for their compatibility with the functions of the crime prevention officer. The PD's recommendation is to purchase a 2017 Ford Explorer Sport Utility 4-wheel drive vehicle from Bo Townsend Ford.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll move that we approve Resolution 17-R-17 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Herbst, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do approve Resolution 17-R-17 as presented. Any questions? Comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Gerhard,
Yes.
Councilmember Farce,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ayers,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Resolution 17-R-18, Mr. McDonald.
17R18, a resolution approving the replat of the Marinhofer-Deaton plat.
Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yeah, and this replat would adjust the rear lot line of the adjoining properties at 2338 Upper Trentway and 814 Bolton Abbey Lane. The replat will result in a 0.582 acres being removed from the Bolton Abbey Lane property and added to the Upper Trentway property. The purpose of the replat is to accommodate a fence that was constructed in the wrong location.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 17-R-18 as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Gerhardt, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do approve Resolution 17-R-18 as read. Comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Resolution 17-R-19, Mr. McDonald.
17R19, a resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a lease agreement with PNC Bank in an amount not to exceed $177,048 for golf carts at the Castle Hills Golf Course.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. And at your December 19th, 2016 meeting, Council authorized a 4-year lease with Lake Erie Golf for 53 golf cars at an annual cost of $43,262. Unfortunately, when Lake Erie Golf forwarded the lease documents to the city, the lease is actually through PNC Bank. Therefore, we need to do legislation authorizing the lease with PNC Bank.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve resolution 17R19.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Ayler, second by Councilman Herbst, that we approve Resolution 17-R-19. Any questions? Would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Herbst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. Our first ordinance this evening is 17-04. Mr. McDonald?
Ordinance 1704, an ordinance approving a major amendment for a freestanding sign for the property located at 1620 Fieldstone Way and owned by Superior Abrasives, LLC, in the Office Industrial Park zoning district with a PUD overlay.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Superior Abrasives is requesting a PUD amendment to allow an already installed directional sign that is 12 square feet in area and 5 feet in height, where 3 square feet in area and 3 feet in height is the maximum permitted. This sign is also located within the right-of-way. The Planning Commission reviewed this request at its January 10th meeting and voted 4-0 to recommend denial.
Is there a motion?
Your Honor, may I ask a question of Mr. Cruzy?
Certainly.
Mr. Cruzy, if I were to table this particular ordinance, would it be possible for us then to amend our sign code to allow for maybe a 12-foot or the same square footage of multiple way signs to be consolidated into one sign, and then bring in the rest of our code as opposed to just taking this particular item and granting a variance?
I mean, that's possible, yes. That's dependent that we actually think, council as a whole actually thinks that 12 square feet is the appropriate number.
Well,
Just because that's what this applicant's asking for, and I don't know that we know that. And maybe it is, if that's what's acceptable to council, but
well, it would be concomitant with the 4 signs, which have a 3 square foot. That's 12. So it would make sense if he consolidated the 4 signs into one sign. It's just one 12-foot sign, and amend our code as opposed to trying to grant another variance. I think that's the better way to go.
well, again, if you grant the variance and then amend your code, then the variance doesn't really have any precedence. But I think one of the things we can look at is allow them to combine their directional signs to one sign based on the number of signs they're permitted to a maximum. Because otherwise you may have somebody with one drive access that gets 2 signs that's still getting 12 square foot versus this person that has 2 drive access.
And that makes perfect
So I think,
sense. But I just think
Amber's probably staring holes through me right now.
sorry, Amber, but I just think this is a better way to go.
Yeah,
as
but
opposed
I
to
don't
granting
think
the
you can,
variance.
I don't agree with right here, right now, making a decision to alter your sign code without putting more thought into the,
And nevertheless, I would
process.
still like to move to table this ordinance today rather than granting a variance.
Yeah. We can do some research. I'm sorry. We can do some research to let you know this is what other communities do, and maybe we have established a different standard for the industrial areas. I don't know. Those are all things we can look at.
This is your motion?
My motion is I move to table ordinance 1704.
And are you specifying a date or leaving it open?
I'm going to leave it open.
Thank you.
Mr. McDonald, how long can I leave it open?
I'll have to check this because it's not a variance request, which has a
It's
time.
an ordinance.
It's an ordinance for a PUD amendment. So I'm not sure we're under the same time constraints as we are for variance. But I can let you know if we.
I'll move to table it for 3 months.
Well, Amber's going to have an answer for us here shortly, but I think there's probably a requirement that council has to act on a planning commission item sooner than 3 months would be my guess, but she will.
45 days for a variance, I know that,
Yeah.
but I don't know what it is for the PUD.
Maybe there's not, but if we stare at her, she'll read faster. Okay, maybe there's not.
I would vote no on that. How long would it take to legislate? How long would it take to legislate the code?
Okay. Okay.
Say what?
Your Honor, I'll propose that we
Anything?
table it for 8 weeks for lack of a better time period, and so be it.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis, second by Councilman Ehlers, that we table the first reading 1704 for 8 weeks. Any comments from anyone? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Yes, and the motion carries 6-1.
And so that sign will stay as is until we come back
That's
and
right.
take this up later.
We have some ordinances in their second reading, and the first one is 17-0. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, you're
17-01. Mr. McDonald?
Ordinance 1701, an ordinance rezoning the property located at 9375 Dog Lake Road from highway business to industrial and amending the zoning map of the city.
And before I open the public hearing, I have a question for Mr. Cruzy. Has this not been resolved?
Well, again, we have a letter from the law director, and his opinion is that we have the ability to administratively approve this, and I can review some of the comments in his letter if you'd like, but without them having to go through the zoning change.
Okay.
If I may, Your Honor, it had gone through the process of a
Right.
zoning change through Planning Commission and through a first reading. So in order to have not have a missing ordinance, if you will, in our
Okay.
book, it would be best just to go through the process. My recommendation would be that the zoning requests get denied simply because of the reasons set forth in my opinion letter.
So since this is an ordinance in second reading, I will open a public hearing so that if there's anyone in the audience who would like to make comment about this ordinance, would you please come to the podium, state your name and address for our records, and give us your comment? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Your Honor, I'll move that we deny ordinance 1701 in its second reading.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis, second by Councilman Herbst, that we deny the second reading of ordinance 1701. Any comments? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion to deny is 7-0. Ordinance 17-02. Mr. McDonald.
Ordinance 1702, an ordinance approving a major amendment for a changeable copy wall sign for the property located at 229 East National Road and owned by Speedway LLC in the Downtown Business Zoning District with a PUD overlay.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So Speedway is requesting a PUD major amendment to allow the installation of 2 wall signs on its existing canopy. Speedway's request is to place 2 31-square-foot changeable copy signs on its existing canopy, one facing east and the other sign facing west. The maximum square footage permitted for a building sign is 70 square feet. The city's sign code, however, does not permit changeable copy to be included on wall signs. Speedway's previous freestanding sign, which included changeable copy, was damaged in an auto accident over this past summer and had to be removed. Speedway is requesting approval of the changeable copy wall sign in lieu of erecting another freestanding sign.
Thank you. Once again, since this is an ordinance in second reading, I will open up a public hearing. And if there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak to this ordinance, would you please come forward, state your name and address for our records, and welcome.
Good evening. My name is Brent Forte, and my address is 6001 Nims Parkway, and that's South Bend, Indiana, 46628. And we're the agents for Speedway. We worked through Speedway as well as Everbright, who deals with a lot of their signage. What my company does is we will take a look at a site, we help them with the ordinance and consult them with interior and exterior advertising and site branding. But as mentioned, we are requesting 2 LED price display signs, and as also mentioned, the previous freestanding sign that was shown in the artwork, and I do have extra copies of the artwork if any of the council would like to see that. I also have additional photos of the site. If you would like for me to hand out, I could pass that around.
That'll be fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here, if you give me, I'll pass them around.
Thank you.
And this should be very similar to the previous artwork shown. The only thing what I did is I included an additional photo, but if I may have you flip to the first page, it is the site plan. And I wanted to include this and as well as discuss this as we were looking at options. One, why I think this is a valid request, and also by giving up the rights to any future freestanding signs for the site. This site is not on a corner. The drive aisles are pretty close together when you're taking into account the bollards and the gas pumps, as well as the sidewalk. I have called out the approximate setbacks from the right-of-way to the edge of the canopy, and that's 16 feet, as well as the previous sign, the base where the concrete square is actually still out in the site. There was a cone on there for when it was hit. That's approximately 20 feet from the gas pumps. And so looking at those, we came back and proposed that the sign should go on the canopy. Now, while this is not ideal, we think that it's a good solution because it will provide that drive aisle, considering the sign did get hit. Right now, there's not that much space there if another freestanding sign was proposed in this area, especially when considering the monument-style sign. We have the ingress and egress points there to the east and west of that area. So if we were to propose a monument sign there, that would also block visually for motorists entering and exiting the site. We have looked at moving it to the east of the property to the west. We also have the surrounding vegetation as well as the surrounding signage, so we thought this would be a good complement to the situation of repairing the damaged sign. Now, the new sign is on the canopy. It meets the square footage requirements, but as stated in the current ordinance, the changeable copy is not allowed for wall signage. It is a little bit taller, but I think one thing that we all still find ourselves looking for from the car is prices for gas. That's something I was driving around in town, and I did fill up at the Speedway there, and I was looking for the price. I know they have a temporary sign out there, as well as the BP gas station. That's one thing that motorists are still shopping from their car, because everything else is on the computer, or they already know they're getting it, or it's on their cell phones. Which price is on your cell phones, but you don't want a motorist looking at their cell phone while they're looking for gas prices. Now, this canopy also is covered by vegetation, so it's not ideal, but again, it will provide enough visibility to communicate the price to motorists while we feel staying in line with the intent of the ordinance. If there are any other questions I may answer about the sign, the illumination, or the square footage, or any other questions that you may have, I'm more than willing to answer them at this time.
Does council members have any questions or comments? See none.
I was going to ask, are there any future plans for renovating this particular gas station in the future?
That I don't know. We are consultants and contracted through Everbright Sign Company. I've only dealt mainly with the pump toppers, we call them, and the signage on top of the pumps, or the exterior wall signs and freestanding signs. So as far as remodels, I don't have that information on me. But that is something we could find out if it is slated for any type of remodel or improvement in 2017.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none. Thank you very much, unless you have something else.
No, that is it as well for me. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak to this? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Your Honor, I move that we deny ordinance 1702 in its second reading.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis, second by Councilman Herbst, that we deny the second reading of 17-02. Are there any other comments from anyone?
Second was by Councilman Ehlers.
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Ehlers.
That's all right.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Gerhard? Yes. Councilmember Farce?
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst?
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis?
Yes?
Mayor Setzer?
Yes, and it's 7-0 to deny the request for the ordinance 1702. Ordinance 1703. Mr. McDonald?
1703, an ordinance approving a planned unit development preliminary development plan for the Vandalia Office Park for the property at 203 and 231 West National Road.
Thank you, Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. YOLO Development 1 has proposed a PUD preliminary plan for the former Morton School site, again, which is owned by the City of Vandalia. Development of this site is limited to the following uses: administrative, business, or professional offices, professional services, daycare, retail, hotel, multifamily, provided, however, that all multifamily, retail, and hotel combined shall be limited to approximately 30% of the acreage of the property. The proposal is for the development of an office park with 6 buildings in multiple phases. Phase 1 consists of 3 lots fronting on National Road for medical uses. The proposed parking lots for lots 1 and 2 are 3 spaces shy of what is required by the code. However, the total parking proposed for the development of the entire site does exceed the off-street parking requirements of our zoning code. The Planning Commission reviewed this preliminary plan at its December 27th meeting and unanimously recommended approval subject to the following conditions. 1, that the stormwater plan conform to the city standards and be approved by the city engineer. 2, that signage be reviewed at the time of the final development plan. And 3, that there's a revision to sheet number 3, which clearly shows phase 1 and phase 2 square footage of proposed building number 2.
Thank you. Since this is an ordinance in a second reading, I will open a public hearing, which means if there's anyone in the audience who would like to address it, would you please come to the podium, state your name and address for the records and your comments. Hi there.
Hi, Jared Barnett with YOLO Development, 3500 Pentagon Boulevard, Beaver Creek, Ohio. Just here, it's been a month or so since we chatted last, so just here to answer any questions you might have in your discussion tonight.
Anyone have any questions about this?
I guess last time we talked, what was the status of the status of getting these properties under contract?
Yeah, we have one on our replat, I think it was Lot 3, that is under contract and actually just handed Mrs. Holloway or Ms. Holloway some plans to get the property conveyed over to us so we can close on that parcel, and met with them. They're working on their plans. And then we do have the center parcel under lease as well, with an occupancy of 1215. So 2 of the 3 lots are spoken for.
Thank you.
And
You have any idea, I mean, if everything goes as planned, when construction will start?
As soon as I can get a permit. So we'd like to, based on the timing of our final development plans, which we've also submitted already, we would be, I think, about the middle or end of March going through the approval process, and we'll submit for permit prior to that. So hopefully earthwork early April, permit by the end of April.
Great, good luck.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to it.
Thanks. As are we.
anyone else have a question? Seeing none. Okay, thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming this evening. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to make comment? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Your Honor, move we approve ordinance 1703 in its second reading.
Second.
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we do approve ordinance 17-03 in its second reading. Any further comments from council? Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Farce,
Yes.
Councilmember Herbst,
Yes.
Councilmember Ehlers,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lewis,
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. We have no emergency ordinances, but we do have reports from boards and commissions. The Planning Commission minutes of January the 10th. Are there any questions about those? Seeing none, we'll go on with council comments, beginning with Mr. McDonald. Thank you, Mr. Cruzy.
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Councilwoman Farce.
Just want to thank Mayor Setzer for instigating or initiating, I should say, a meet and greet on Saturday with the community at the new library. It worked out very well, and really appreciate you putting that effort into that.
Thank you. Councilman Blakesley.
I will echo along with that, and it was nice to be able to connect with citizenry, to give them a forum, to be able to talk to us unofficially. You know, at these meetings, they can talk to us at the podium in our workshops, but I think it makes it a little difficult for them. So it was nice to be able to hear some of those items, and I wrote them down, emailed them to Mr. Cruzy, and one of them has to do with the Morton development, which I'll get with Jared after the meeting with, which was interesting. But I really enjoyed that time, and I hope we can do that again.
Thank you. Mr. Garrett.
No comment tonight.
Councilman Herbst.
Well, I was also going to thank Mayor Setzer for instigating the meet and greet. It was very very interesting and a good source of information that we were able to gather from citizens, and a couple items that I'm sure we're going to be discussing in depth here in the near future.
Thank you.
Nothing, thank you.
Just for the record, I already thanked Arlene.
For instigating.
No further comment.
No, I feel as though it went very well, and I hope that we can do it again in a couple of months. To tell you the truth, to come to a meeting such as this and then come up and have to state your name and address for the records, and then looking at all of us staring at you and everything. So it was a very casual way for us just to talk, and good comments from everybody that I talked with, and I think the meeting went very well. With that, I'm going to ask for a motion for an executive session to recommend, to consider the employment, discipline, promotion, or compensation of a public employee, more specifically matters relating to the performance evaluation of the city manager. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved by Vice Mayor Lewis, second by Councilman Blakesley, that we go into executive session, and then we will reconvene to City Council. However, that may be a little later? You didn't like it? Is that what it said? Who was that? Okay. I didn't mean you, but I meant
You're supposed to point
Was
to
it
somebody else.
Siri. Siri was in our council meeting here saying they didn't like that. Okay. Anyway, with that, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, right. With that, we'll adjourn to our executive session.
Mayor, we need a roll call.
Sorry, yes, roll call.
Council. Yeah, this is for to adjourn to executive session in which Councilmember Lewis made the motion and Mr. Blakesley seconded.
Right.
Councilmember Herbst. Councilmember Ehlers. Councilmember Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilmember Gerhard. Councilmember Farce. Vice Mayor Lewis.
Yes.
Mayor Setzer.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.